Hello and happy Sunday morning. Welcome back for another episode of the 2010 Rewind. I have been looking at films from 2010 that are turning 15 years old here in 2025. We've been on kind of an adventure the last couple of weeks looking at a few different films. We looked at a couple big animated films. We looked at one of the big Harry Potter films last week. I looked at the comedy Easy A. Today, I am wrapping up the 2010 Rewind, our 5 week look back at some films turning 15, with a classic from Denzel Washington, and that is The Book of Eli. This movie, of course, released in 2010, comes from the Hughes brothers, features Denzel Washington as a man named Eli who is making his way and surviving in a very dystopic world where the surface of the earth has been destroyed. People are in kind of, uh, you know, small settlements and tribes trying to eke out a living. Food is hard to come by. Books are even harder to come by. And it turns out that Eli is carrying probably the most rare book of all, trying to get it to San Francisco to a place where it will be kept safe. And that is the last copy of the Bible. And that makes this kind of an interesting film. There is a huge twist in here. If you've never seen it, I don't want to give it away right now, but Denzel Washington, very good in this role. Um, this is a movie that I've gone back and forth with some over the years. I didn't love it when it came out. It feels very of a piece, probably with the look and feel of the world in Mad Max, especially some of the latter Mad Max films. Gary Oldman's in here, Mila Kunis in here. I think they both do a fine job. But this wasn't always my cup of tea. There is some pretty savage violence at times in this film, and I wasn't sure how I felt about the message, but it is a film that I've come back to time and again. Especially those of you who have followed me for a while know that I am drawn to films that center on religion or explore faith in an interesting way. And this film certainly does that. We know Denzel Washington, a person of deep and abiding faith, and that was probably one of the reasons he was drawn to this. The film begins, with and ends with scripture passages that are quite fascinating. We hear some scripture quoted throughout. I wouldn't call this a Christian movie by any stretch of the imagination, but there are themes in here that I've come back to, that I've mulled on, and it's a movie that I've never been able to let go over the last 15 years. And that was one of the reasons when I saw it on the list, I wanted to bring it up. Also, if you like kind of that dystopic action movie kind of feel, this one will have something for you. Well, that's a wrap for this week. The Book of Eli and the flashback films from 2010. I will be back next week as I kick off a set of 6 movies from 2005 that are turning 20 years old for the 2005 Rewind. So I look forward to seeing you then. Until that time, you guys have a wonderful week.